Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back to the Slots 101 show here on the Cowboy Slot channel. My name's Brantley, and this is Mark, and today we're here to answer your questions. Happy Easter to all of you out there, by the way. And before we dive into this episode today, before we get into the Q&A, y'all can start going ahead and asking your questions, lining those up in the queue, and we will start taking those here in just a minute. But we have a couple updates for you. First off, we are now 7 days away from our first ever live in-person event at the Seven Feathers Casino in Canyonville, Oregon. This is going to be a live seminar where you can actually come on and or come in and ask your questions live. We're going to be doing a meet and greet. That's going to be at the Seven Feathers Casino in Canyonville, Oregon. It's free to enter. So all you have to do, you do have to register, is check out our events page, ropethejackpot.com/event. And that will also be broadcast live. So if you are unable to make it to the casino, you can always watch it live here on the channel. So that will take place next Sunday, Sunday the 16th. So we're really, really excited about that. Another quick event, Mark and I just got back from Vegas. We stayed at the Aria. Was really, really sad to see that the triple jackpot machine that I was just playing and had just recorded on, they have gotten rid of it. So it is not there. I looked around the floor. I thought maybe they might have moved it, but no, they got rid of triple jackpot. But we did do something in Vegas that Mark is going to tell you about, and this is really, really important. So I want y'all to listen, because this is a really, really good episode that we did. And Mark is going to tell us all about it. So, Mark, you want to tell everybody what we did in Las Vegas?
I would love to, Brantley. Thank you so much, guys. So the main reason we were out there was not just to hang out at Aria. We were there to do a exclusive interview with IGT's Vice President, Anthony Bearlocker. And he is the Vice President of Gaming and Innovation. And this was a tremendous interview, guys. We were able to ask him a lot of questions about how slot machines work, some of those common myths out there, and we even got some inside information on how he created a lot of the games that are out there right now. He was responsible for Pinball. He was responsible for Top Dollar, Wheel of Fortune. He's been there for 25 or so years. We had a fantastic time sitting down with him. We had about a 45-minute interview, I think it came out to be, Brantley. Very exciting, really cool stuff in there. And there's even a big surprise at the end of the video where he told us something about a new game that's coming, and nobody has heard about this yet. We were the first to hear about it, and he wanted to share that with you guys. So we're super excited about this interview. It's just going through the editing and approval process right now, but it should be out pretty soon. But we had such a great time meeting with him. Again, this guy has been with IGT for a very long time. And this isn't just kind of some PR guy or marketing guy. This is the guy that actually is responsible for developing these games from scratch, from the math, managing the teams that deal with the artwork, the sound, all that kind of stuff. So he was a fascinating gentleman. We've known him for several months now, and we were very honored that he was able to sit down with us and talk to us for a little while. And we wanted to really share that with you guys. So that's coming very soon. We're super excited about it. We're just ready for this to come out, guys. I've watched it many times already, and I'm just so proud of it. And Brantley, we both just did such a good job with that video, and I just can't wait for you guys to see it. It's going to be really exciting. So stay tuned for that. And anyway, I guess we can start today's show. Brantley, any other starting thoughts before we get going?
I think the only other really starting thing is we did just today actually come out with a new learning portal on our website. We love YouTube. We do all of our stuff here on YouTube. Obviously, YouTube, this is where we started at. This is where we're at. And we absolutely love it. But YouTube can be kind of confusing sometimes to find the right video, because we have a lot of videos out there. We've covered a lot of topics, and this new learning portal is going to help direct you guys in the right direction. So please do check it out. All you have to do is go to our website, ropethejackpot.com, click on that Start Learning button, and you'll see the new portal. There's all kinds of, it's broken down very, very easily for you to find any video that you want. It's divided up into category. There's fast facts on there if you don't have time to watch a video. There's articles on there. There's just about everything. So definitely check it out. That would be the only other thing. And then we can go ahead and start moving into some Q&A here. So Mark, did you want to take the first question, or do you want me to?
Sure, I'll go for it. No problem.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Craig Strang says, when playing a high limit slot and getting bonus, is it better to choose more games when you have a high denomination bet, $50 per spin. So the bonus games where you get to pick kind of your flavor of volatility, and that's what it really is. It's like you are deciding how risky you want to be during the bonus round. And so when you get the options of having, let's say, mini games, but maybe not as many pay lines or not as many multipliers, that is the less risky selection out of that group of picks. Now, on the other end, you have maybe only 3 free games, but you have a lot of lines and you have a lot of multiplier potentials. It really varies per game. But that is not been decided yet. You are deciding how volatile you want those bonus spins to be. And so it's really up to you. And this is the kind of the thing that we cannot answer yes or no, or say, yes, you should go with the low or go with the high, because it all depends on your situation and also the kind of person you are. Some people just like playing riskier machines and riskier bets. So they'll tend to go for the lesser spins with the more multipliers and lines. But also, if you're doing well for the night, let's say that you're way up, you might push your risk a little bit more. Where if you're way down, you might do a less riskier option. So it really depends on how you're feeling at the time. There is no exact science to it. But the one thing that's very important that you understand is that it does matter which one you pick when it comes to the end result. They're not going to all end up in the same, because all those spins inside of those bonus rounds are random events. Okay? So good question, Craig. I think I understood you correctly what you were looking for there. But Brantley, let's hand it on back to you for the next question.
All right, we do have a $10 super chat here from Lisa. Lisa, thank you very much for that super chat. We really do appreciate it. All the super chats and super stickers are greatly helpful, and we also do have a new donation portal that's set up on our website as well, and I'll go ahead and put that link over there in the side for you guys if you are interested in doing that. Lisa has a question here. Are gas station slots regulated? Does the owner of the gas station own the machine? It really depends on the jurisdiction that you're in. It depends on the local laws, the state laws, whatever jurisdiction, it depends on where you're at. If we look at a place like Nevada, everything gaming is regulated all the time, no matter where it is. So if it's in a gas station, it's going to be regulated by somebody outside of that gas station. Every state is different. Every jurisdiction is different. If we look at Nevada, they're highly regulated by the state. And it depends. Most of those gas station machines, yes, they do own, but some can be leased. So it really just all depends on the jurisdiction. So I hope that helps to answer your question, Lisa. And thank you very much for that super chat. And I'll take one more here. Jerry Pace. You've got to give yourself enough spins on a machine to hit something. I shoot for 10 to 20 spins per machine. That it's a very true statement. I mean, if you can always hit on, you can hit within one spin, but you're not experiencing the full game if you just give it a less amount of spins. So more spins is usually better. That's why we recommend sticking with our 1% rule. That'll usually give you ample spins to be able to experience the game and hopefully get something good. So very good statement on that, Jerry. Thank you. All right, back to you, Mark.
All right, sounds good. And William Poland says, I've never been able wanted to risk more than $20 on slots, but I'm going to bump it up to $100, but I will hate to lose. Guys, listen, your statement's filled with a lot of warning signs there. Never move up your budget because you feel like you cannot obtain anything on your standard budget. If your budget is $20, your budget is $20, and you should have to deal with that when you're inside of a casino. If you feel like your budget can go safely up to $100, and when I say safely, that means that you are making good decisions on where that money is coming from. You're not eating into your rent or mortgage or anything like that. If you can go up to $100 safely, then yes, you should bump your budget up to that. But don't do it just because you feel like you can't win anything off of $20. That's a very slippery slope. And that will then cause your $100 to go to $500 and $500 to $1,000. And it'll just keep going and going and going. And then that's where the danger starts. So just be very careful with that. If you do want to bump your budget up, yeah, $100 is a little bit better to go into a casino with, just because you'll be able to get a little bit more action, possibly more winning spins. But don't do it for the sake of going outside of your comfort zone. So I read your comment there, and I was like, oh, that sounds a little dangerous there. So just be very careful with that. We don't want to see you get hurt by pushing your budget up past your level that you're comfortable with. And another one here, Debbie says, went to Biloxi last weekend, and per Brantley and Mark's advice, played triple stars and got my first hand pay. I've had in quite a while. Thanks, guys. Well, congratulations, Debbie. I played Triple Stars a little bit at Aria. I didn't have any luck this time, but I've had some good luck on it playing it at home, and it's still one of our favorites. Triple Stars, Triple Diamonds, Double Diamonds, those are all good for the long haul. Those are good low volatility machines. But thank you, Debbie, and congratulations. That's awesome. All right, back to you, Brantley.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Debbie. We do have a couple super chats, super stickers here. $5 super sticker from Jessica. Jessica, thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate it. And we also have an €11 super chat here from Andre. Andre, thank you very much. Really do appreciate that. Andre says, it was really nice to meet you in person at Aria this week. Keep up the great content. I was the German guy when you played Thundercash. Yes, it was very nice to meet you, Andre. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here in the chat with us today. All right. Dave says my cowboy hat stress ball came in the mail. Woohoo! Enjoy it. Really, those are really cool, guys. We have some really cool swag in our shop, and it does go to help out the channel. So if you haven't yet checked out our shop, it's on our website ropethejackpot.com/shop. We really greatly appreciate that.
Hold up, you were supposed to bring me some of those. What happened?
Oh, you know what? I actually did bring you some of those. I just forgot to give it to you. I left them in my bag.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
What am I going to do? My stress is going to be so bottled up. I need one of those hats.
All right. I'll take another one here. Jamal says, have you ever been to Washington State casinos? If so, which one? I have not. Mark, have you?
Nope.
I know they're pretty different up there in Washington State. Maybe we'll have to make a trip out there eventually and check them out. But to answer your question, nope, we have not been out there. Not yet.
All right. And Tony says, why does it seem that a certain game has all the machine paying all at once, and then they seem to stop at the same time? Guys, this is called the gambler's fallacy, okay? If you don't know what that is, go look it up. It's all about human nature, and us as humans are constantly looking for patterns to explain what is going on. And that is just the way we are built, okay? From when we were little kids all the way up to, when we're older people. That is just the way we are. Unfortunately, slot machines do not have any detectable patterns. So what you are witnessing there is just pure coincidence. You could do that again. You can go the next night and witness it, and it could be the other way around. Machines do just not go through cycles like that where they're detectable. Okay, so just try to keep that in mind. This is probably one of the hardest things to try to convince, but in the interview coming up, we actually addressed this topic. And I think you're going to like his answer when he came up with that. And then Linda K says Megabucks time. And also in the interview, he did bring Megabucks up, and actually something I didn't know about Megabucks that he told us. So I look forward to the interview for that as well. And I'll take one more here, Brantley. And that is Martini's Great Adventure. What top dollar is best? All right, so we've said it here again. I'm sure people have already answered this in the chat. 5-line regular top dollar, not the new double top dollar. That one's totally different. I'm talking about the one where you have to get 3 top dollar symbols on a pay line. These are becoming more and more difficult to find. Aria still has them. Let's see what else. I think Luxor still has them. Yeah, just if you can find that, good. If not, stick with original single credit top line or top dollar or single line double top dollar. Those are the 3 that I would recommend. Anything outside of that, you're really starting to get into the volatility wars there, that it gets a little bit difficult to get those bonus rounds and to get good offers in the bonus. So those are the 3 that I would stick to and stay away from all the rest. All right, back to you, Brantley.
Absolutely. All right. Alan says, my slump at gambling continues. Lost 305 yesterday afternoon. Best machine for me the last 2 trips was triple double wild cherries. Lousy luck on the other machines. It's gambling. It's, machines are gonna do that. There's more chances to lose than to win, unfortunately. But over the long term, if you continue with the lower volatile games, in the long term, in the bigger picture, you're going to have an overall better experience and better time, and you're going to lose less at those lower volatile games. And Triple Double Wild Cherry is a pretty good game. Obviously, it's a little bit more volatile just because the cherries can fall anywhere, but it is a really good game still. So at least you're picking some good machines. And best of continued luck to you.
All right. And Chara says, if we win a jackpot in another state, should we have federal and state taxes taken out or just federal? So I got to preface this by just saying that we are not tax experts. We cannot give you tax advice. I strongly urge you to reach out to somebody who does understand taxes, maybe your accountant or H&R Block or something like that, and go ask them those questions. But the thing is here, and I want to tell you why it's important that you always have state taxes taken out, especially if you are traveling into that state. And we've read about a lot of people from Texas getting stuck with having to file state income tax returns. We do not have state income tax here in Texas. But if you go across the border to Oklahoma or Louisiana and you do not have them take out the state taxes, you have to file a state income tax return for that state. And that's just a mess, just for a jackpot that you got. So always have them take out state. Unfortunately, some may not allow you to only take out state, but leave federal. It really depends on the casino when it comes to that. But yeah, the general rule of thumb there is that if you are traveling to another state, have them always take out state so you don't have to file a state income tax, the following year, because you're probably going to forget about it. And filing a state income tax for $18 in tax is a lot of paperwork for nothing. It's just not worth it. All right, back to you, Brantley.
All right. We do have a $49.99 super chat coming in from Bullion Bear. Bullion Bear, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. Hey, Brantley, it was a highlight of our Vegas trip last week to meet you at Aria. Well, thank you very much. By the way, Silver Queen did an excellent. And for me, well, it was the cost of entertainment. Well, it was great to meet you guys. It really was. And anytime that you see us out in the casino, you are more than welcome to come up and say hi. Absolutely. We love it. We love talking to you guys. So it was a pleasure to meet you, and it's really cool to actually meet some of you guys that are, always in our chats every week and everything. So really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. And, moving on here to some questions here. Pro Smack. Hey Cowboy, big fan. Besides low volatility and denom, what are other good factors to look for when looking for a good slot? Does higher payout prove better odds of winning? So, there's a lot of factors when you go to look for a slot machine. And we mentioned this, if you remember, we did a 7-episode learning series on the channel. If you haven't seen it, it's on our learning portal on our website, ropethejackpot.com. They're all listed in order. It's a great series to watch. And in several of those episodes, I mentioned that there's a lot of things to watch for, and it does take time. You're still always learning, especially when it comes to things like volatility, because volatility is a very, very in-depth thing, and it varies so much between all different types of games. For me, it's a harmonious balance of what your budget is, what you're comfortable spending, what you can afford to spend. And then once you've got that down, then, finding the right denom, finding the right volatility, so for that, there's a lot of factors. I would say other than volatility and denom, the biggest factor would be your budget. You mentioned, does higher denom prove better odds of winning? Not necessarily better odds. I mean, the return to player might be slightly higher, but the odds of winning, I mean, you could go play a $5,000 slot machine and lose instantly. So we don't want to recommend doing that. Playing what's ideal for your budget and what's going to get you the most out of your budget is going to be the biggest thing. If you can't afford, if you have like $500, obviously you don't want to go play a $100 slot machine. Even though it could have fantastic odds, a $100 slot machine has, could be great odds, but you would only get 5 spins and you wouldn't have enough to experience the whole game. So it's a big balance of a lot of different things when you are going to pick a slot machine. And, I'm going to plug it again, that lesson series that we did. It's 7 short episodes. They're not that long. They're broken down by category. Go over to our website, ropethejackpot.com, click on that start learning button and you'll see it. It's about the second video playlist down. I really recommend watching all of those episodes, or even taking a refresher, because it goes through everything on that. But thank you very much for your question. Really do appreciate it. All right, back to you, Mark.
All right, well said, Brantley. That was spot on. I concur completely. Those are all good things to look for. All right, let's see. Kathy says, hey, Mark, did you have any problems getting your machines back on after you had to turn them off because of the tornado warning? And was it that machine in the back behind your left shoulder? See, this is my left shoulder. No, none of them had none of them had problems coming back on. It's always a risk. There have been many times where if I'm going to be gone for a while, I'll shut all these off, and I always get nervous because slot machines are meant to stay on all the time, and you're always taking that risk when you power cycle it. So, but it's better in a lightning storm to turn them off than to try to chance it. Even if you had it up to a surge protector, I don't want to chance it. I always completely power them off during any kind of lightning storm. All right. Let's see. And Robert Cisneros says, are $10 and $25 top dollar machines less volatile than the $1 and $5 machines? And also, does the bonus come out more often? No. So here's the thing, and Brantley has talked about this a lot. Volatility is not a setting on a machine. It is actually like the game rules. It goes along with the game itself. So when they come and they create a game, let's say top dollar, that's what you're talking about here, they build in the volatility of the machine before the payback percentage or return to player or anything like that has any impact on it. Okay, so they design the game to either be on the low end or the high end when it comes to volatility. Okay, so for regular top dollar, it doesn't matter if you're playing the quarter version or the $500 version. The bonus frequency is exactly the same. Okay, now over the long term, there will be differences because a quarter machine will have a lower payback percentage than a higher term. But in the short term, it's not something you're really going to notice as a player. So that's why we talk about volatility so much, is because that is what you actually can notice, because it's built into the game programming itself, how the game actually plays out. And again, I've got to plug the IGT interview because this is one of the questions that we asked specifically about, and we even made a comparison to top dollar and pinball and what is the difference in volatility on both of those. So just try to remember. I know it's really hard because we use the volatility word a lot, and it kind of can get confusing, but just try to remember that the volatility is part of the game itself. Okay, that's just how the game is designed. It's like the game rules. How hard is it to win? Like the game of Monopoly is very difficult to win, so it would be a high volatility game. Okay, it doesn't really matter who you're playing against. It's just a hard game to win. It takes a long time. But something like checkers is low in volatility because it's very easy to win. The rules are simple, that type of thing. So, volatility is just part of the actual game itself. So I hope that helps answer your question, Robert. Thank you so much. And back to you, Brantley.
Very good answer. And just kind of building on that, I'll take this question here from Jessica. Is there a secret list for low volatile machines? Unfortunately not. Everybody all the time, it's one of the most common things. We even get this a lot on our forums, on our website, where people ask, what is the volatility of this game? What is the volatility of this game? Every single game is going to have different volatility. There's no way for, we can't give you hard numbers for volatility on a slot machine. To determine volatility on a slot machine, you have to sit there, look at the game rules, look at the pay table, and compare it. Compare it to other machines that spend the same amount of money. Compare it to other machines that, have bonus rounds and stuff like that. There's a lot of factors to go into. And we do have a whole episode on volatility as well. Mark, if you have that link to pull up. And this episode will kind of break down exactly what to watch for when you're looking at a game, because every game is going to have volatility. And I think Tammy actually posted the link in the description as well. It's ropethejackpot.com/volatility. Thank you very much, Mark. Check out this video because it really does dive into everything about volatility and everything what to watch for. Unfortunately, there's not a list. That would be just too much of an impossible task to do. And when we look at volatility, kind of the kind of similar that I can remotely compare it to is kind of like when you're getting an appraisal on your house. So when you're getting an appraisal on your house and they're judging what your house is worth, they're looking at comparable houses in the area. They're not looking at necessarily every house in your neighborhood. They're looking at houses based on, okay, what's its square footage? What's its acreage? What's its features? Stuff like that. Volatility is kind of the same way. So like we can't compare. Like you wouldn't take a game like, pinball, for example. Pinball is a bonus game, but it also has a double diamond base game. Well, the double diamond base game, of course, is going to be lower in volatility because it doesn't have that bonus on it. So those two really aren't comparable. So we have to compare pinball to, say, another game like that also has a bonus, such as Top Dollar. So there's a lot of factors that go into volatility, and that's why we can't provide a list. Unfortunately, it would be nice to have a list, but we just can't provide a list because there's so much factors. It really is something when you're evaluating volatility that you have to individually assess the game that you're at. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps you out. Really appreciate your question, and make sure to check out that video. Back to you, Mark.
All right, sounds good. And another question here on volatility just came in. Lisa said, so the less rules, the lower the volatility. Unfortunately, you can't make that determination. It's one of the pieces to the puzzle, right? But there are games that have very few rules, like 12 times pay or 10 times pay, but they are very volatile because of those high multipliers. So it's a piece to the puzzle. Sure, if a game has a lot of game rules and a lot of pay lines and a lot of winning combinations, yes, all that adds to the volatility. But it can also be very simple when you look at the glass. But if it has a lot of multipliers and that top jackpot is very far away from your bet size, that could also be an indication of volatility. But definitely go check out that video because we do cover all that.
And really quick, I want to mention something about volatility because we have 325 of you in here watching right now. I know in the intro, if you missed the intro to the live stream, Mark talked about this interview that we did with IGT. He's not a marketing person. He's a vice president, and he is the one that actually created the games of Wheel of Fortune, Pinball, Top Dollar, Game King, all of these games. He's actually the one that's done the math and helped create these games. We asked him about volatility, and he has the best explanation about volatility. And we can't wait for you to see that interview, but he breaks down and explains everything about volatility, what it is, and so on and so forth. So we're really excited for you guys to see that interview. All right, that's all I wanted to plug. Back to you, Mark.
No, sounds good, guys. All right, and Locust7777 says, I lost my bankroll $1,000 on Dragon Link. I already see the problem with this one, right? Yeah, guys, don't feed the dragons. That's kind of the joke we have around here. But in all seriousness, the problem with the link games is that they are very volatile. And a lot of times those are games where you see people playing them either on YouTube or in person, and you catch the bonus round, and it just looks like, man, that just is so easy to win at. But you don't see the other side of it. It can be very difficult to get bonus rounds or any kind of hit. Those games are notorious for not having good line hits. You're playing for those, getting the balls and the bonus, and it just can be very difficult to get sometimes. We've seen a lot of instances where people put large amounts of bankroll through those link games and never get anything. The potential is there, but because it's high in volatility, you have to have a very large bankroll to sustain those long sessions of not getting any hits for the potential of getting a big hit. So I'm sorry it happened to you, but that's what happens on those games. That's how they're designed to play out. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. I did have a good question here, and now I lost. Oh, here we go. So Wanda Young says, is it better to play the lower bet or the high bet? So the general rule of thumb here is game rules. We always talk about game rules on here. We think you should really look into every game that you're sitting down to, understand what it is that you are potentially missing out on by not doing the max high bet on that machine, okay? Believe it or not, a lot of games out there, there is actually no benefit to betting higher. All of the Ainsworth games is a perfect example of this. The must-hit buys, like the Thunder Cash that we talk about, and Eagle Bucks, all this. There is no benefit to betting max bet. You can hit those progressives betting one line and one credit. So if you don't have a big bankroll, you can still play those games and not feel like you're losing out on anything. But there are other games where you may not even be able to get the bonus, like Top Dollar is a good example of this. You may not even be able to get the bonus if you don't max bet and play the highest bet level that you can on the machine. Unfortunately, there's just not a blanket answer to this. You really have to look at the game rules and understand what it is. There is one thing that I will caution you, though, and this is a marketing thing. On a lot of games, it might tell you that if you bet more, you have an increased chance of a progressive or increased chance of free games, things like that. They can put that on there, but it can be a very, very small chance. So don't fall for that if it does say that. What I'm talking about is you would not be able to get any bonus or any progressive if you don't bet a certain amount. Those are the things to look for. But when it just says you have an increased chance, I'd be a little wary of that. It's definitely not worth extending your bankroll further than you normally would just because it says that. So I hope that helps you, Wanda, and good luck out there. Back to you,
Yes,
Brantley.
best of luck to you. All right, we do have another super chat here from Paul. Paul, thank you very much for that. Really do appreciate it. Hey guys, thanks for the insight. I'm staying downtown in 2 weeks. Seems there are not many recommended slots, and I am a low roller. Any suggestions? You know what? Probably the best casino I would say in the downtown area would be Circa. Circa has not only a massive casino. It's 2 levels. They have slot machines on the top floor and bottom floor. It's very open. There's more video poker than I've ever seen at any casino have in my entire life. But they also have some machines there that are brand new that are not I've not ever seen them in any other casino. And I think that Circa is kind of almost like a testing ground for brand new machines. They tend to get new machines first. One thing that stood out to me about Circa that was really nice is the fact that they have a lot of machines at all different bet levels. So even for example pinball, they have quarter pinball, they have quarter top dollar. They have them at all bet levels. So I would definitely check out Circa. It's a nice casino. It really is. So best of luck to you, and let us know how you do. We also had a new member sign up, Greg. Greg, welcome to YouTube membership. We really do appreciate your support. Thank you. Hope to see you on Member Monday. All right. I'm going to dive into some questions here. Question here from Gray Gordon. Should online slots be played the same way as in-person slots? No. So the biggest thing with online slots to always remember is they're not really slot machines at all. It's a game that is designed to look like a slot machine and feel like a slot machine, but it is not. It doesn't work the same. It doesn't use the same technology. They're not slot machines. So be very, very careful with the online stuff. We always caution about that. Because it's kind of, when we get into the realm of online casinos, it's like going down a rabbit hole almost. You can get in a lot of financial trouble doing those online casinos because you're sitting at your house and you just keep playing and there's nothing really telling you to stop. So just be careful with that. We don't ever recommend online casinos. It's just not something we recommend. And I'll take one more here from John. Have you ever discussed casino credit, pros and cons, how to go about doing that? So actually, we have not. This is not a topic that we have covered. Some casinos, especially in Vegas, will offer casino credit. Basically, that you can get a loan from the casino to gamble. It sounds like one of the most dangerous things that you could possibly do. I really would not recommend doing it. I'm sure that there's safeguards in place, but at that point, you're kind of putting your credit on the line for gambling. I wouldn't do it. If you get a loan for $5,000 to gamble and then you go and you lose it, now you have nothing to show for it and a maxed out line of credit on your credit report.
It's actually even worse than that. I'm going to have to jump in here, Brantley.
Go ahead.
So I talked to my host about this because it came up. And when you think about a casino line of credit, it is not like any other line of credit that you have ever heard of before. You have 30 days to pay it back from the time that you pull the funds from it. 30 days. That's it. If you don't pay it back, they turn it over to the courts immediately and it becomes a felony. It's very serious. So only do casino credit if you know for 100% certain. In fact, you know what? Don't do it. Just don't do it. I just don't think that that's a good thing to do. Yeah, you don't have to pay points or interest or anything, but it's essentially a 30-day loan, and you can get into some serious legal trouble if you don't do it. So I would just completely stay away from it. But the one thing that my host did recommend is that you can actually send money. You can wire money. This is Las Vegas casinos. You can wire money in advance to the cage, and they will basically allow you to pull from it by just going up to the cage and getting the money. The benefit of this is that you don't have to carry a bunch of cash with you. You can avoid the ATM fees. There's like mosquitoes in here trying to bite me. You can avoid, the ATM fees and cash advance fees and all those crazy fees by doing that. So if you're interested in that, do that. But I am going to go on the record and say never do casino line of credit. I cannot see a scenario where it's a good idea. They offer it, but it's just don't do it.
Very good. All right, I'll let you take the next question here, Mark.
All right, sounds good. Let me jump back over here. All right, and Lynn Mack says, when you have progressive picks, is it always predetermined? All right, this comes up probably every week, but this is Sunday 101, so we're going to talk about it just real quick. So it really depends on the game. Most games, when you do progressive picks, where you have to pick in match 3, it is absolutely predetermined. And the way that you know that is that after you pick the 3, if it doesn't show you what was behind all the other picks, it was predetermined. There was nothing you can do. It was going to do what it was going to do, and that's it. But on some games, it will actually reveal what was behind all the other gems or cards or whatever the case is. In that case, you are in full control of the picking. Quick hit free games is a perfect example of this. But most of them, when it comes to progressives, especially progressives, it's already predetermined. And then William Bear says, playing Thunder Cash this week at Bellagio, it was interesting that I hit 2 minors well short of the 500 must hit by, one at 359 and one at 389. Is that usual for Thunder Cash? Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, is that it can be any number. Brantley said that there was, at the Rose, somebody hit, and when it just reset, like it resets at 9,000, it hit at 9,001. That's very far off from the 10,000. So the way it works is that as soon as it resets, as soon as you hit the progressive, or well, hopefully it's you, but as soon as somebody hits the progressive and it resets, the random number generator picks a number between the ranges, so 350 to 500 for the minor, for example. And let's say it's $401.59. It remembers that. Again, only the machine knows this. Nobody can look it up. They can't tell what it is. Like, they can't open the machine and tell what it is. This is just stored in memory. And then as soon as it crosses that line, you get paid that minor, and then it repeats itself. So it's a range for 350 to 500. That number is random. It can be anywhere inside of there. But it averages out, just like any other random pick. It averages out to be whatever the middle of that is. So what is that, 412 and 50 cents or something? So that's what's going on there. So yeah, it's unusual, but it can happen. It's we've seen stranger things. All right, back to you, Brantley.
All right. All right, question here from KF. Not really a question, but gambling is just a matter of luck. My wife, who doesn't like to gamble a lot, wins almost every time, whereas I who like to gamble, I'm not so fortunate. It's just the way it is. Gamble, and that's the thing about gambling is it's a game of chance. It's a game of chance, and even when we look into the skill games, such as poker, you can still lose. There's not. I mean, there's not any guarantee to gambling at all. There's things that you can do to do better in the casino. You can pick better. You can pick the best machines. You can pick, what's best for your budget. But that still doesn't guarantee anything. You still have. It's still, just like you said, it's a matter of luck. But there are things you can do better. But you are correct. At the end of the day, it really is just a matter of luck and getting lucky. There are people out there, it's happened many times, somebody's gone by and they put $1 in a slot machine and then they hit the major, mega progressive. It happens, lucky for them. I wish that would happen to me one day. But lucky for them. And John says, do you have certain amount you decide to play each slot machine so you don't chase the jackpot? Good question, John. So everybody's situation is going to be a little different. My situation, I know, Mark's situation, everybody's situation is a little bit different. I play for the enjoyment of the game. The only time the only time even remotely close to chasing any kind of a jackpot would be like a must hit by progressive that's really, really close. And even then, we don't sit there and chase it constantly. For me, I play for the enjoyment of the game. So like, obviously, we say this all the time, and you probably are going to get tired of hearing me talk about pinball, but pinball is my all-time favorite game. Obviously, I can go and I can put my entire bankroll into pinball, and I can sit there and have a drink and play pinball, and even if I lose, I'm still having a good time because I'm playing it for the enjoyment of the game. And that's how I play. So very rarely do I set certain amounts of what I want to play at. I have my budget. And then I just kind of utilize my budget throughout the day at games that I pick and decide on. So I don't know, Mark, do you have any input on how you would divide that up, or is that about the same for you?
About the same for me. It's all about sessions, taking breaks. You know, we always get that question: how many spins should I lose before getting up? You know, if you're not having fun and you feel like you're not winning, get up and take a break and walk around and do something else or find another machine. But you know, there isn't a set number. That next spin could be the winner. That next spin could be the loser. You just don't know. That's the thing. And so if you're just not feeling the machine for whatever reason, get up and walk around, take a break. But don't chase. Don't chase. I mean, there can be very large swings sometimes where you just can't seem to get the bonus. And that happens to all of us. And it's just important that you decide yourself before you sit down on a machine or while you're playing. You know what? I'm going to take this down. I'm going to do 5 more spins and I'm out. I'm not going to chase this anymore. Those are the things you should be telling yourself. And if you want to talk to yourself out loud, that's cool too. It's Vegas. Everybody talks to themselves out there. But I mean, it's, you know, it's important that you know when to stop because it's going against your budgeted rules and your session rules. That's the determination, because the slot machines are random. You never know when it's going to hit. You just don't. And so there's no magical formula to figure that out, right? But that's all I wanted to add to it. But good explanation, Brantley, for sure. All right, guess it's my turn. Let's see. This is kind of a similar question, but I'll put it up real quick. ProSmack says, thanks for the previous answer. I saw this mentioned earlier when you would say spin-wise had enough of a losing machine to get up and change. Same thing. If you're not having fun and it's just not seem to be doing anything, just get up and take a break, especially if you're losing your budget. All right, let's see. Leanne Wick says, you guys are awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Leanne. I'm starting to understand random number generator and tables. That being said, if I hit the button exactly at the right time, could I hit top dollar back to back to back? Yes. It may not be probable, but it is possible.
It's possible.
And it's the same thing of hitting triple diamonds or double diamonds on the next spin. The odds are greatly stacked against you, but it could happen. It's just like people that hit the lottery more than once. It's not probable, but it's possible. So yeah, you're definitely on the right track. You're understanding. And yes, I think my record is 3 top dollar bonuses back to back. I think I don't think Dave's in here today, but I think he said he's had 4 before, which is pretty nuts. But it could happen. It could happen. All right, let's see. There was another top dollar related question in here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And yeah, what is your opinion on 9-line triple? No, that wasn't it, but I'll answer this one anyway. I'll find the other one. Metro says, what is your opinion on 9-line triple double diamond? We love that game. I
Love it.
I have not played it much. I know Brantley has played the heck out of it. That is a good game to play. I agree with that. It just hits often because you have so many lines to play, and the double diamond and triple diamond bring it down a little bit in volatility, so it's a little bit easier to hit it. If you can find that, that's the real problem. That is not an easy one to find anymore. They're not making them in the new cabinets anymore. So you got to find the old school 9-line triple double diamond. But I know Brantley likes that one. He's had some good hand
funny
days on it,
story
too.
about this one. We actually have one here in Wyoming. There's only one of these at any of the casinos in our state. It's at Wind River Casino in Riverton, and there is one, and it is so busted. The glass is shattered. I mean, this machine look like the belly glass is like shattered, and it has like tape all over the belly glass. Like it just looks like it's been beat through the ringer. I seem to always have pretty good luck on it. We have a couple videos in here of me playing that, and it does drop those triples and doubles a lot. I actually really like that game. It's kind of sad to see that it went away, but I really enjoy that game. It's very good. All right, I'll go ahead and take one here. Locked Wild says, how about having a chat topic where people post their opinions on high and low volatile games based on their experiences? We already do. We have our chat on. It's very, very easy. Guys, we always recommend if you have not yet utilized this, please do. It's 100% free, and it's actually really cool. You guys can start your own topics. You can start your own threads. You can talk to people in your area. Any topic that you're looking for. If you have a question about a certain machine, a certain casino, those forums are also international. So even if you're not here in the United States, you can talk to other people from all over the world on our website. 100% free. It's ropethejackpot.com/chat. Is a great resource. So please do utilize that. It's awesome. And I think we had another question in here about let's see here. This one from Trax. I'm going to also plug our website on this one too. Do you know where I could sell my IGT Sizzling Sevens 25-cent Denom 1980 slot machine? Our website has a buy sell trade page too. We've got everything's on our website. Our website does have a buy sell trade page, so you can actually post it up there, and I'm sure you can get some buyers. We also do have some machines that are being sold on there right now, not from us, but from other vendors and so on and so forth. So the website is chock full of wonderful goodies. So be sure to check that out. Again, it's very easy. We'll put it up here again. It's ropethejackpot.com. So make sure to check that out. All right, back to you, Mark.
All right, sounds good. And Harley, shout out to you. You're in the chat. I haven't seen you here before, so welcome. And hi, Brantley and Mark. Well, hello to you. And thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. All right, I found the top dollar question. Well, I did. Why do I keep missing this one? There it is. All right, Mike C., I got you. I got you this time. So 9-line top dollar bonus round seems to give pretty low bonuses for $10 to spin. $600 gave me a 130 and 220 bonus. Is that normal for top dollar? It is for that one. Guys, 9-line top dollar and 25-line top dollar are the absolute worst versions of top dollar that you can play. So stay away from them. General rule of thumb is if it's a top dollar game and it has 5 spinning reels, get the hell out. That is not a good one to play. They are just tough machines to get. And you are experiencing what I've always experienced playing those. I owned the 9-line top dollar at one point in here, and I played it a lot, and I never got anything good on it. I just never did. So it's definitely a big pass for me. All right. And JP says, on a Class 2 bingo machine, is a taxable jackpot reduced from 600 from 1,200? No. At least not at WinStar. Now, other casinos could be different, but I think for taxable, it's still 1,200. I don't think that's any different. But consult your state and your tribe, the tribe, and all that kind of stuff. All right, and one more real quick. That's a good bingo. Says, on some of your videos, you reference old style and new style cabinets. Can you explain what the difference is to those, or what this means? So old style just means, I guess, kind of like this top, I'm backwards here. So this top dollar here, we consider that an old style machine. It just looks older, right? It doesn't have any flashy LEDs and touch screens and crazy stuff like that. But then you move on up to, say, the G23 next to it. So this is a newer style machine because it's all video. And then you get to the newer, like are the ones that you see in the casinos now, which are just gigantic screens, lots of LEDs, big sounds, curved displays, all those. Those are really new cabinets. The real difference is, and the reason we talk about the old school, or the old style machines, is that as long as you're picking volatility and considering volatility, the old style machines still have a better selection of low volatility. A lot of the newer games coming out all are higher in volatility, and that's not a global rule, but it's a general rule, if that makes sense. So the reason we say look for those older style is because that's where you're most likely to find those lower volatility games. So definitely go visit a casino that has a lot of old school machines, because that you're more likely to find what you're looking for there. All right, back to you, Brantley.
Absolutely. And we do have a $5 super chat here. Thank you very much for that. Just ordered, drum roll please, a hashtag Don't Feed the Dragons t-shirt. Please have front printed graphics as an option. Thank you for awesome content. Well, thank you very much for your purchase. We really do appreciate it. And we do have so much good swag on our website. So if you guys are interested, please do check out our website. I believe we have sold out of a lot of the poker chip options now are back to sold out. I tell you, we sell out of those all the time, very, very quickly. So, and as for having a front printed graphic, the vendor that we're working with right now is pretty restrictive on what we can do, but we're always looking for other vendors. So we'll keep our eyes out. All right. Going back to some questions here. Question here from Karen: are the machines that you can play 4 games at once high in volatility, and should you play all the same games or 4 different games? Thanks. So really the volatility is going to depend on what kind of game you pick, because each of there's a lot of these cabinets out there that have so many different games that you can pick from. A lot of those games are higher in volatility. Like we can just use one that has Buffalo, for example. Buffalo, you know, if it's original Buffalo is not bad, but some of these other versions of Buffalo, they can get pretty high up there in terms of volatility. Now, the only thing about the playing 4 games at once is, you're playing 4 games at once, you're probably going to hit something. Now, when I say hit something, or when I say a win, I'm not saying it's going to be big. You could be playing $5 and then you win 5 cents. It's not really a win, but I mean it's giving you something. So that also plays a factor in it. For those, I personally don't like those. I don't know how Mark you might feel about it. I personally don't like the games that have 4 and all these other games going on 4 and 6. And I know Mark had a really complicated one that was like a lot of different slot machines on one screen going on. And then playing, should you play different games or 4 different games? It doesn't really matter if you play the same game on all available windows or if you play 4 different games. That's really more for just what you enjoy. So I hope that helps. Those games, again, usually not something that we recommend, unless of course you're doing it just purely for an entertainment purpose, if that's a game that you like. So that's kind of our take on those games, like the Wonder Fours and stuff like that. But thank you very much for your question. And we do have a $10 super chat here from Bobby Earl. Bobby Earl, thank you very much. Bless me, fellas, for I have sinned. I was at Borgata this past week and I played a Firelink game and enjoyed it. Thanks both of you for your knowledge. It made the week very fun. Firelink, a lot of people have asked about Firelink, and it's actually not bad. I think of all the Link games, Firelink and Prosperity Link are probably going to be the best out of all of the Link games. So there's some on there that I don't think Firelink is a bad game. It's actually pretty fun. I think Firelink is more fun than Dragon Link is. I think they did a better job designing the game. And we also do have another super sticker, 1999 super sticker from Mr. Banana. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that, guys. All of those super chats, super stickers, they do go to help out the channel. So we thank you all very much for that. And Mark, I'll hand it off back to you.
All right, sounds good. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for the super chats, and happy Easter to everybody. I hope you had a wonderful day. And I wanted to also just give a shout out to, I see Tammy and Susan in here are working the crowd, so thank you so much to both of them. They are always here to help us out. Makes the show go a little bit smoother for you guys, so really appreciate all their efforts. So thank you so much. And I just want to do another comment real quick to the Firelink. We joke around a lot about those games, and like, here's the thing: we may direct people to lower volatility games, but the reason we do that is because we consider ourselves the type of people that like to play less riskier games and give up that chance of a huge jackpot. That's just us personally. And when it comes to like generating comps and making your bankroll last, those are the ones that are the best to play in that scenario. And so that's kind of our message. That's the Cowboy Slots message, is to direct people that way. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with playing a high volatility game. There is nothing wrong with it. We just want to make sure you guys are educated enough to understand what is going on, and it sounds like you are, and that's what matters. You know what you were getting into. It's not a sin. It's just not something that we would want people to initially just go into a casino and start playing unless they knew what it was that they were giving up there. They're giving up a lot of stability in playing slot machines. They're going for a riskier bet. And so if you're okay with that, you're okay with that. All right, we had a couple more super chats come in here. So $5, good luck, everybody. Awesome info. Thanks. Well, awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the $5. And another one from Erica, $4.99. Hello, are the odds much different between $5 denomination and $10 denomination pinball? 3 credit. I only play $5, working my way up. No, do not move up to $10 just because you think it's some kind of higher payback return. It would be so minimal, and I can guarantee you with 100% certainty you would not notice the difference between those two. So stay with what your comfort zone All right, and I'll take a couple more questions here real quick, Brantley. And Pro Smack says, funny question. Do you think there are people out there making a living playing only slot machines? Listen, if anybody tells you they are making a living playing slot machines, they are not telling you the full story. There's just no way, in my opinion, could anybody make a living playing slots. Blackjack, maybe. Video poker, maybe. Slot machines, absolutely not. I just cannot see a scenario where that would play out. Unless they hit a really big one, $3 million, and then they're like, we made a living playing slots. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about people that have stopped their jobs and they go to the casino once a week to try to win on slots. That just can't happen. I don't see how that can happen. All right, and Brantley, I'll go ahead and hand it on back to you.
All right. So, yeah, the other thing about making a living playing off of slots, too, guys, because, obviously, there is everybody loves entertainment. Everybody loves watching winning videos. I do myself. Mark does. It's a lot of fun to go on YouTube and watch somebody win big amounts of money or win a big jackpot. There's 100% nothing wrong with somebody posting winning videos, but you have to be able to realize and understand that what you're watching when you're watching that, there's more off camera that didn't make the cut. And that's the biggest thing to realize is just understand to make a living playing off of slots would be extremely difficult, because the longer you're in a casino and the more that you play and the more risky you get, the more likely you are to lose it. So it's not a game of skill, it's a game of chance. So be very, very cautious of that. And a lot of times when it's very easy to see, again, there's a lot of people out there that they say they make a living playing slots or whatever, but they have some other income source coming in that they're generating that affords them the ability to even make that risk in the first place. So just always keep that in mind. All right, moving on here. Paul, is the 5-line 3-reel double diamond the lowest volatile game in the casino? I haven't seen them before, but do you know of any in Vegas? So this game is really, really low in volatility. It really, really is. I think the max payout, I want to say it's 800 credits. Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it's 800. It's not that.
The 5-line version,
is it 800
the max
or 16?
Well, 5-line is much higher than that, because it's 800 for line 1, it's 1200 for line 2, 16, 3200 is line
32?
5. Yeah.
It's the 5-line double diamond is a really good game to play. It really is a good game to play if you can find them. I know Casino Arizona down in Phoenix, they have some. They have one. They have one old 5-line 3-reel double diamond. Vegas, I don't know. This would be a good question for Dave, because I haven't seen any. So that would be a good question to ask Dave, which I don't think he's here today in our chat. And Scott has a question. I see Brantley has a Megabucks chair. Yes, I have 2 of them. I've got 2 of them right over. It's kind of hard to see. They're at my blackjack table. 2 Megabucks chairs. Casino chairs are so comfortable. I would disagree on that one. How would I get one? So when I had my shop where I sold slot machines, there was a truckload of these chairs. And pretty much when I picked up my order, because I was ordering probably 100 machines at the time, they were just like, oh, hey, do you want a chair? And I'm like, okay. So I took 2 chairs. They just gave them to me. I've never seen them for sale ever since. So I would not be able to tell you where to get one. That I picked these up at a warehouse, and that was about it. End of story on that one. All right, Mark, I'll hand it back to you if you want.
All right, sounds good. And super chat from Larry Crow Jr. Gaming in Newport, Williamsburg, Kentucky, our HHR class. Yeah, that is historic horse racing. So they're not even slot machines. You're playing basically historic horse racing. We did do a video on that. Go check out it in our library. And also on our new section on the website, ropethejackpot.com/videos, or you can just go to ropethejackpot.com and click on the Start Learning button. And I knew it was in there about HHR and bingo style, video lottery terminal, all those kind of things. But thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. All right, let's see. Back to some questions here. And I see two questions that are the same here. So Happy Days says, question, you say every spin is random. What about the slot machines that you can stop the reels, help or no? So fast stopping a reel makes absolutely no impact on the outcome of the spin. The moment that you initiate the spin or you place a wager by pressing the spin button, pulling the handle, your fate is sealed. It has already decided what is going to happen. It just has not played out yet. So just because you think you can fast stop it because you see the symbol start to fall, that is not what's happening. You can't manipulate a slot machine that way, unfortunately. And funny enough, that is a question that we talked about in the IGT interview coming up. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And Scholastic said the same thing. Yeah, no impact whatsoever there.
And even in that interview too, guys, he gives the full details of exactly how fast stopping works. It's a really, really awesome interview. We're really excited to get it out to you guys. So be watching the library, because as soon as we get the green light, it's going up.
That's right. All right. And Lisa says, I just want to thank you guys. I've learned so much, and I'm binge watching all the videos preparing for a good time next month in Vegas, leaving debit and credit cards at home. Thanks, Mark. Well, congratulations for that. Yes, leave the credit and debit cards at home. Only bring cash, and cash that you can afford to lose. And I know you will have a good time in Vegas. And make sure you do those budgeting. I don't know how long you're going to stay there, but separate it out for days, because you don't want to be stuck around with all your friends playing and you have no money to play. It's not a good feeling. But good luck out there, Lisa, and I'm glad that you are doing the right thing before going out there. It really makes me happy. All right, back to you, Brantley.
All right, we do have a $10 super chat here from Marcus. Marcus, thank you very much for that. Lots of super chats, super stickers tonight, guys. We really appreciate that. Marcus says, hey, guys, what is the strangest Lucky Charm you saw someone bring to the casino? You know, for me, working in the casino, we used to have somebody come in, and they would bring in not one, not two, but a lot of various items, and they would pretty much like move in to a slot machine. Like they would sit there and they had they would bring like probably 20 different charms, and they would just cover the machine in charms and troll dolls. Troll dolls were actually really popular. A lot of people bring troll dolls. And you know what? Hey, as long as they're enjoying it and they're having a fun time, you know, that's perfectly okay with us. As long as, you know, whatever is going to make them feel luckier, make them have a better experience, then that's good. But yeah, we've had a lot of strange things roll through in terms of Lucky Charms. All right. And Michael says, hey, Mark and Cowboy, can we see all the machines that you have in your game room there? Sure, I can go ahead and start us off here. So I have my pinball machine right there. And then on this side over here, we've got, if I can move, we've got the triple double stars. We've got the Super Times Pay 5-line and a triple diamond deluxe. So that's what's in my room, and I do have some more in the other room, but they are all turned off and being used for storage, pretty much. All right, Mark, what about you?
Well, let me show you around here. So, sorry, tangled up in wires here. All right, so I've got, currently have Willy Wonka over there, a 3-reel, and then here's my Lord of the Rings. And there is the missing pinball. Marcus is getting that. He's in the chat here. And I've got more S3s on the way, so it'll be replaced soon. Then my double top dollar, that's my G23. I currently have Western Stars up there right now. That's a really fun game. And then this is my BB2, and I currently have a Illinois game chest loaded on there, and I was playing Monopoly, which is a lot of fun. And then this is my Ringmaster, which is a pretty rare Barcrest IGT game that plays kind of like Phoenix Gold, a mix between Phoenix Gold and Everything But Six. If you guys are familiar with those games, it's kind of a combination of both of those. But that one didn't last in casinos very long, and so I was lucky to be able to get it and play it here. So there's my collection.
All right. So there you go, Michael. Really cool, nice little show and tell break there. All right. Going back to some questions here. Phyllis, are your chances better at winning lottery compared to slots? Definitely not. Definitely not. We played at the local Indian casino and I did good, but was wondering if the same amount would do better. Would do better as good or as good on the lottery ticket. No, lottery ticket odds are exponentially worse than slot machines. You have a much worse much worse odds on the lottery. Do people win the lottery? Absolutely, but I think all in all, lottery is probably like the pillar of the volatility scale. I mean, there's not there. I actually don't think there's any game that's more volatile than the mega lotteries, because in the casino or out of the casino. So, but it definitely would be nice to win those big lotteries. That is for sure. All right, handing it off back to you, Mark.
All right, sounds good. Um, and KZ Zozo says, "How do you gain back lost money from a bad day at the casino next time?" I think we've all been here, guys. Like, you can't get it back. Once you gamble it away, it's gone. And that's why budgeting and session management is something we talk so much about on this channel. Because the likely scenario, and I think everybody knows this, the likely scenario is you're going to lose. Every now and then you do win. And what we try to do is to get you to maximize your chances at not only picking a good machine to increase your chances of winning, but also leaving with your money and not busting through your budget. And that's why we focus so much on it, because there is no easy way to win at a casino. I mean, I think we all realize that, right? But there are things that you can do to really maximize your chances of having a good time, generating some comps, and a good potential of winning. That's all we can do, right? But yeah, if you lose it, you've lost it, and hopefully you only went with money that you could afford to lose anyway, because that's the mentality. I mean, you want to go in with the mentality that I'm going to win today. You should always be positive, but you should also go in knowing that money will probably be gone when you leave and go to the parking lot to your car, and hopefully you let it last a long time and you had a good time while you were there. So, all right, and let's see. Davey Dude says, is it better to stay at one machine or machine hop as far as earning comps and tier credits? So here's the thing. Machine doesn't matter when it comes to earning comps. What matters is your amount of coin in, okay? Coin in is every time you place a wager, how many coins that you put in, like basically credits that you bet, as well as the denomination. That is what is important when it comes to generating comps. At least it's one piece to the puzzle. So the best thing that you can do is to pick a low volatility machine, because the most likely scenario is you're going to bet some, you're going to get a little bit of it back, you're going to bet some, you're going to get a little bit of it back, and you're just going to have a slow and steady ride through the slot machine play. And because of that, your coin in is higher because you keep having more money to keep wagering, if that makes sense. If you go to a high volatility game, you could bet 100 times and not get anything back. And that is just, you only get 100 coin in bets. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you didn't win anything in 100 spins, which is possible in high volatility games. You put in 100 credits or 100 spins worth of coin in, but nothing else. Now take that same 100 credits and move down to a double diamond machine. You may have won a lot back and put it all back. And so maybe you put 400 or 500 in coin into that machine. So it's a much different experience, and that's why comps can get generated a lot faster on those machines. So yeah, it doesn't matter what type of machine you're playing. I mean, style, like theme or anything like that, but it does matter that you're playing a lower volatility game, because the longer you can stay in the machine and the longer that you can play, the more comps you're going to generate. That's what they're really interested in seeing. But very good question there, Davey, and I hope that helps you out. All right, back to you.
Very good. All right. Moving right along here. Let's see. John says slot kept giving money back, called for an attendant, did a rest. Would you keep playing or change slots? It would depend. I mean, again, this is really one of those situational things, and it depends on you, the player.
I think you meant enjoy. Reset. Yeah, there are no resets.
Yeah, there are no. Yeah, I was like, like, are you talking? Did you take a rest, like a break period, or a reset? So I'll give the answer to both. Mark gave the answer on the reset, so there's no reset if that's what you mean. If you're talking about like taking a break from a slot and either continuing to play it or coming back, it's really personal choice. That it doesn't really matter. Every spin is going to be independent of, every other spin. So every spin is an independent event. You could have, better or worse luck in the next spins to follow. So I hope that helps to answer your question. We kind of gave you two different answers there on that. And then Pete says, "Hey guys, great show. Thinking of buying a slot machine. I live in Connecticut. Have no clue on how to repair or fix it if it stops working. How do I find a legit slot tech? Just Google. Probably would be Google, or you can always ask on our forums. There's a lot of things. Again, our website is just a absolute pillar of information. You can talk to people in Connecticut on our website, and ask them if there's people around that can help you. There's a lot of home slot owners that are on that forum as well. There's even a special forum for slot machines for if you're trying to buy them, sell them, or if you need help with them. It's all available on that forum. So I would definitely, I gotta say, go and check that out first, and just ask your questions on there. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. You can go on and ask your questions locally there. Mark, do you have
Fortunately,
any?
I've got some bad news for you. Connecticut, all machines are prohibited.
Yeah.
So you're going to have, so it's illegal for you to own your own slot machine in Connecticut. And even if you were to find some, they're not going to ship it to you. So I'm sorry to say that, but that's definitely the way it is in Connecticut right now.
Yeah, and always check your laws. That's for sure. Always check your laws there. All right, and Conrail John. Hey guys, love your channel. I've learned so much from you. I'm definitely a more informed slots player now. Your methods work. Thank you. Thank you very much. We really do appreciate that. We love hearing your feedback, guys. Absolutely love it. So thank you very, very much. We really appreciate each and every one of you, and we love, love, love the feedback. So thank you, guys. All right, Mark, back to you.
All right, sounds good. Joe says, will Texas ever get Class 3 casinos? It's going to be a long road. I think they're trying first to get sports betting. That's the first thing that they're trying to get passed. But I don't know. I can't answer that. It's going to be very difficult for them to pass that. There's so much competition on all the states surrounding Texas. And because of that, there's going to be a lot of lobbying, and it's just going to be tough. But we'll see. Time will tell. They've tried for many, many years. And Roberto says, do you think most slot streamers are making a profit? Actually playing the slot machines? No. But again, like Brantley said earlier, if they're supplementing their income by, doing the YouTube thing, maybe they have businesses and things like that, then yeah, they could be turning a profit. But as for actually playing the slot machines and coming out ahead, I can't see a scenario where that's the case. The longer you play slot machines, the more you're going to lose. That's just the way it is. So you really do have to supplement it with something else. All right, and EJ Laughs a Lot says, watching a guy play every denomination except quarters for a couple of hours makes sense to play the quarters when that machine becomes available. No, please remember that slot machines, and again, we're going to plug the interview again because this is another question that we asked, and he gave an outstanding answer to this. Every single time that you press a button on a slot machine, it is a random, independent event. It does not look back. It doesn't know anything about what has occurred before when it comes to how the spin is going to be played out when you hit the spin button. So it doesn't matter, and this is one of those things that a lot of people feel, that because they watch somebody or witness somebody put a ton of money into a machine and they didn't hit anything, that it's somehow due. Like the machine has to start paying back. That is not how slot machines work. I'd hate to break it to you guys, but that is not how slot machines work. You could go in and put another 100 or 100,000 into that machine and not hit. It could happen. That's just how it's just random, okay? So try to get that all out of your mind because it's a distraction. That's not how they work. If you want to play a quarter machine, play a quarter machine because that's what your budget allows and it's a game that you want to play, and that's it. Don't think about what has happened before to that machine, because it's not going to make any difference whatsoever on the outcome. All right, back to you, Brantley.
Absolutely, 100%. Well said, Mark. All right, I'll take a couple of them here. Arlene, I love video poker, but anymore I don't hit anything. Is it better to play only slots? No, it is not. Video poker by far is going to be exponentially better than slot machines, because video poker has a skill aspect to it. If you know proper poker strategy, and if you can pick, pick a video poker game that you like and learn it. I know that there is volatility with video poker as well. There's different games that are more volatile, less volatile. There is a website, and I know that I know we have video poker players that are in this live chat. So if you guys want to help me out, I believe it's VP Free 2 or VP2free.com, one of those, where it will actually go through and tell you like really good strategies, the differences between the types of video poker. We're not really a video poker centric channel here. We have 2 episodes on our website though, however, and if you are looking for these, it's very easy to find. They're on our website. If you click on that start learning button and then go down to where it says expert interviews, we did 2 different interviews on video poker with some professional video poker players and video poker experts. And they go through and they explain a lot about the game of video poker. And it's video poker, again, if you can learn the proper strategies and proper skills, you're going to have a better overall chance with video poker than you are with slots. So best of luck to you. I hope that everything turns around. You'll have to let us know how it goes. Go onto our website, and we do have a video poker forum on our website as well. So be sure to check that out, and you can ask questions on there. We have a lot of video poker players on our website that come out and they talk to each other about different video poker strategies and so on and so forth. So ask a couple of them. They're very, very knowledgeable. All right. And from Mary, is it a myth that casinos strategically place slots in certain areas of the casino? Yes, this is a myth. When it comes to slot machine placement on the floor, it's really, really heavily reliant on contractual obligations with manufacturers and lease agreements. That's really the main thing that has to do with placement. Majority of casinos today, especially newer casinos, they lease their machines or what's also called participation games. And this is where the manufacturer really has a heavy hand into every aspect of that machine, where it goes, how it's maintained, all of that. So if a casino wants to get in, Dragon Links, for example, and they move things for marketing purposes too. So like obviously Lightning Link and Dragon Link is a very, very popular game right now. Everybody loves it. So casinos want to showcase that they have it. They're going to move those towards the front. It does not have anything to do with their payback percentage. It does not have anything to do with the fact that they are better paying machines. They are not programmed any differently. It is 100% just for marketing and lease agreements on where machines get placed on the floor. So you are correct. That is 100% a myth. All right. I'll take it back to you, Mark.
All right, sounds good. And Harley said, yeah, Jackpot Gents is another one. That is who Brantley interviewed. Thank you, Tammy, for pointing that out. Yeah, Cowboy did interview them, and that was a fantastic interview. I learned a lot about video poker that I didn't know, so definitely go check that out. Especially if you're new to video poker. Before you sit down and start playing it, I would definitely watch that video. All right, and Gerald Minko says, what do they do with the slot machines when they get rid of them? They send them all to me in Brantley. No, so what happens is, number one, if it's a leased game, if they do not own it outright, they have to send it back to the manufacturer. And this is quickly becoming the way it is nowadays, okay? These machines are so expensive that casinos don't really want to take a chance on just buying them outright, especially if they're unproven games, right? They want to be able to have control over saying this machine is not performing well. And when we say performing, we mean people are just not playing it, okay? For whatever reason. They just don't like it. They can send it back to the manufacturer and say, send us something else. But outside of that, if they do own the machine itself, they will basically sell them at auction. Like, just imagine, like, it's almost like car auctions where you just have, hundreds of junk cars and people will bid on them to get them. There are dealers spread out around the United States that will bid on buying these in bulk, like the semi-load of these things on pallets, and we'll just buy them outright, and then they slowly start to get distributed out to people like us. But that's becoming harder and harder, or more and more difficult, because a lot of these, again, are leased. and that means that we will never get a shot at getting them. So a lot of the games that are out on the casino floor right now, I highly doubt we will ever see those on the public market. And that's unfortunate, but that's the way it is, All right, and that also drives the price up too. Whenever there's fewer and fewer machines existing out there in the public, especially when we can't just go and order them ourselves, that drives the price of everything up. And that's why things are so expensive to own slot machines now. We've seen humongous growth in the last, I'd say, 7 years, where we used to be able to order machines for $250, $300, like your basic double diamond machine, and now it's pushing $1,200. It's just a lot different now because those things aren't being made anymore, and so what's out there is what's out there. And that drives the price up, right? That's just how economics works. All right, and last one, I'll turn it back over to you, Brantley. Lisa says, my budget, is going to be $700 a day. Is it safe to leave money in your hotel room in Vegas? So the nice thing about Vegas is that at least every hotel casino that I've stayed out in Vegas has a safe in the room. If they don't, call the front desk and ask them to bring you a safe, and they will. Definitely don't just leave it out. I would never do that. I would put it in the safe or give it to a friend. If you're going with a friend, tell them to hold it for you and make sure I don't get it till tomorrow, things like that. Another thing you can do is that if you do bring your debit card, you can call your bank and say, put my limit at, $500 a day. I can't take any more than that out. Don't let me. And some banks will do that for you. But best not to do that. That's like kind of the last option. I think if you only have $700 in cash for each day, just lock it in the room, and I think you'll be good to go. Again, good luck out there, Lisa. We wish for you best.
Yes,
wish
best
the
of
best
luck
for you.
All right. And Jerry says, Mark and Brantley, I've been with you from the beginning, but I always learn something from everything you do. Today I've learned a lot. Thanks. You're very welcome, Jerry. Learning is something that it always continues. Mark and I are constantly learning too. We're learning about new things every day, and the casino industry especially is one that changes very, very rapidly, and there's a lot to keep up on. So this is one of those times, like, yes, there's going to be a lot of information to go through. There's always something new to learn. So thank you very much, and thank you for always being here. All right. Ex-DGen Gambler, if a chair is leaned up against a slot machine with no money in the slot, what is the etiquette? Can I play that machine? Nobody owns a machine. You can absolutely play that machine. Even if there's money in the machine, don't play it, don't take it, but go get a slot attendant, go get somebody that knows, and they'll be able to remove that, because people cannot hold machines. You cannot. There's only one way that you can hold a machine, and that is to go get an employee and have the employee wait there. Everything else is not a viable way to hold a machine. So you can absolutely play it, very much so. All right. And we do have a $5 super sticker from Kevin. Kevin, thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. And all right.
Thank you, Kevin.
Back to you, Mark.
All right, sounds good. And Matt M says, I've done slot analysis at casinos in multiple states. Never seen or heard of a vendor dictate where a machine goes. Also, 80% owned is the standard I'm used to. I don't know which casinos you're at. The information that we're getting are from actual casinos that we've worked with and talked to. They have told us. In fact, we've even seen the spreadsheets of how much is owned and how much is vendor owned, and it is definitely on the side of being vendor owned, at least for the casinos that we've worked with. Now, we can't speak for all casinos, of course, but I think the trend is definitely moving in that direction just because of the severe cost of these machines. Especially the smaller casinos, leasing is just going to be a better option for them. And then also vendor dictating where a machine goes, they can definitely put that into the agreement. Like, we will give up an extra 10% if we can put the machines, over here next to where the line is for the Players Club or something like that. We've seen a few agreements, but not widespread. And I don't think unless you work for a casino and you've seen the agreements too, you can't really say for sure. But we're just basing this off of our experience, and this is what we've seen for the casinos that we've worked with. That's just how it is. So, all right, back to you, Brantley.
All right. Well, guys, we are at just about 1.5 hours. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to conclude our show. We'd like to thank you all so much for tuning in today. There's a link up on your screen right now, ropethejackpot.com/video. videos. This is our new learning portal. We really want you guys to go check this out because it's very, very, very cool. All of our videos are very neatly laid out and categorized for you guys to check out. And as always, you can ask your questions 24/7 there on the website as well. And so much good information, guys. You know, all I gotta say is this: we have so much good information coming. We have a lot of new ideas that are coming to the channel. And we just thank every single one of you for being here and for always supporting us and watching the videos, sharing the content, participating in these live streams. It really does mean a lot to us. And we look forward to meeting you guys too this upcoming weekend at Seven Feathers Casino in Canyonville, Oregon. If you're not able to attend, it'll be broadcast live on here as well. So guys, thank you all so much tonight. Our next live stream will be Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. And we also do have our Member Monday show, which will be tomorrow as well for our members on YouTube here. So as always, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Best of luck to you. Stay safe, and we'll see you again next episode. Take care, guys.
Happy Easter, guys.